It's time for the Week 7 Heisman Trophy ladder. We're going to start at number 10 with Ruben Bain. I've been hesitant to include him here, not because he hasn't proved himself as a destructive defender, but this is what I think the voters would do, and I think it's just really tough for a defensive player to get in the conversation with Miami's start to the year and the defensive turnaround. I think it's starting to happen. Chris Brazzell is still at number 9. Obviously, Tennessee had a bye this last week. The numbers are still super impressive. Still my favorite wide receiver and top wide receiver in terms of the Heisman race. Pavia's Heisman chances definitely took a hit with the loss to Alabama. It would have been huge for his legend and lore to take out the Crimson Tide, but he still means a lot to the Commodores, and if they have a special season, I expect him to continue to be in this conversation. Missouri's another team that was on a bye this week, but Ahmad Hardy's still setting the pace and the standard for running backs in college football. It's even more impressive that he's, I believe, the leader in rushing yards in the country despite having a bye. Georgia Tech was also idle this last weekend, but Haynes King and Georgia Tech, as long as they're undefeated and he continues to be what he is for their offense, he's absolutely on the radar. Mendoza drops a couple of spots, mainly due to what some other players did this week that we'll talk about in just a second. Mendoza obviously still some great stats, still leading an undefeated team, a huge chance to boost his resume when they travel to play Oregon this week. Making the jump from 9 to 4 is Ty Simpson, another just phenomenal game versus a ranked, solid opponent. He does throw the pick in this one, but he's just looked so effective and so efficient in these big games this season, outside of that Florida State game where he even really wasn't that bad in the Florida State game. I think he's starting to really build a case and build some attention towards him. Despite the thumb injury, I really think Mateer is still at the top of most people's minds in this conversation. It's going to obviously continue to hurt his stock, especially if he misses the Texas game. But if he can get back on track quickly, it doesn't sound like he's very likely to play versus Texas, but maybe the week after, I think he can still salvage things in Heisman conversations. At number 2 is going to be Dante Moore. I did this for a couple of reasons. Number 1, he'll have a chance to jump back to number 1 against Indiana this weekend, a chance for another statement performance from him. But also, his statement performance against Penn State doesn't look super killer anymore. I still think it is an impressive performance. That still is a good Penn State defense, but we just watched Nico, who struggled all year, shred that UCLA defense. So it just does age a little rougher, but still a top candidate right now. Number 1 has got to be Carson Beck. This dude has shined on so many stages this year. He goes into Tallahassee. He doesn't turn the ball over at all, which was a huge thing for him. And he's just put together some really nice performances. Miami's had a really tough strength of schedule. They've won all their games thus far, still undefeated. I think Beck is a guy that should absolutely be at the top of the Heisman Trophy ladder right now, so I think he's the favorite.